In the story of sister wives, betrayal, loyalty, and manipulation aren't just storylines, they're survival tactics. Tonight, we uncover how one woman's control and another woman's quiet loyalty tore apart the world's most famous plural family. Part 1. In the beginning, there was hope, a vision of a perfect, harmonious, polygamist family. A man who could love multiple wives, and wives who could share him without jealousy. This was the dream, the promise of sister wives. But dreams sometimes have a dark side.
I like that one.
Yes!
Kody,
Comb your hair.
we were building something bigger than just a family. It was about love,
That one felt like
about a
when it
new
came
way of
deep on your-
life, one that would show the world a different kind of family dynamic. But dreams often collide with reality. As the years passed, the tensions that were once subtle began to surface. A shift was happening within the family, but no one expected it to unfold this way. Enter Robyn. She came into the family as the new wife, full of promises of harmony. But soon, her role began to evolve, and not everyone was happy about it. Christine. It wasn't just about loving Kody. It felt like we were being asked to accept a new rulebook, one that didn't seem fair. Things were changing in ways that none of us were prepared for. Robyn wasn't just another wife. She quickly became Kody's favorite. As the family's fractures grew deeper, so did the accusations of favoritism, manipulation, and a growing sense of imbalance. Was it love, or something else entirely? But what if Kody wasn't the loving patriarch he claimed to be? What if he turned a blind eye to the manipulation that was tearing his family apart? Was he enabling Robyn's power, or was he just blind to it? Janelle. It was like we didn't matter anymore. Everything we had worked for, all the sacrifices, it felt like Kody wasn't seeing us. He was consumed by Robyn. And the fans noticed. On Reddit, forums exploded with accusations that Robyn was playing the victim while secretly controlling the narrative. But where was Kody in all of this? Was he complicit in Robyn's rise to power? Christine, I gave everything to this family, and it just wasn't enough. It was like Kody stopped seeing me, stopped hearing me. As the emotional cracks in the family deepened, the wives who once stood by Kody began to speak out. Christine, Janelle, their voices rang with frustration, pain, and above all, disillusionment. Was this what they had signed up for? The emotional toll of Kody's favoritism was becoming impossible to ignore. As Kody's attention narrowed to Robyn, Christine and Janelle found themselves alienated, their struggles drowned out by Kody's devotion, so the public's reaction was fierce. Fans and critics alike began to question Kody's leadership, accusing him of abandoning his role as the patriarch of the family. Was it Robyn who was the true mastermind behind the family's breakdown? Or was Kody just too blind to see it? Robyn's playing the victim, and Kody's letting her. She's manipulating him, and the whole family's suffering because of it. Christine and Janelle deserve better. The pressure was building. The fans were speaking out. But was Kody listening? Was the once idealistic polygamist family crumbling under the weight of Robyn's manipulation, Kody's negligence, and the wives' growing frustration? The breaking point came when Kody, unable to hold the family together, made a decision that shocked everyone. It was the final blow to a family already on the edge. But did Kody even realize the cost of his choices? Christine, you chose her over us, Kody, and now you've lost everything. The family was divided. What once seemed like an unbreakable bond was now just a shadow of its former self. The damage was done. Was this the inevitable end of a dream that was doomed from the start? The Brown family has changed forever. For Christine and Janelle, there's a sense of freedom. For Kody and Robyn, the future remains uncertain. But one thing is clear. The Brown family as we knew it is no more. I feel so bad for Christine and Janelle. They deserve so much more. Kody really let them down. The truth has been laid bare, but what does the future hold for Kody, Robyn, Christine, and Janelle? Only time will tell. Now that you know the truth, what's your take on the collapse of the Brown family? Do you think Kody failed as a leader? Or was Robyn truly the cause of it all? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Part 2. Meri Brown joined the Brown family with hope and commitment, eager to be part of something bigger. But from the start, something felt different about her role in the family. While Kody balanced multiple marriages, Meri stood out as the first wife, and the one who would later find herself feeling increasingly isolated. Kody. Meri's place in the family has always been foundational, but things change, and sometimes, not everyone can keep up with the changes. But what happens when the changes outpace you? When the dynamic of the family shifts, leaving you behind, despite your best efforts? Meri's journey was about more than just love. It became a fight to be seen. Meri's loyalty was never in question. She showed up, time and time again. But the one thing she couldn't control was the perception of others. As the family dynamic shifted, her efforts to change, to grow, and to be heard were overshadowed by the louder voices in the room. Meri. I worked hard to keep the family together. I fought for us, even when it seemed like no one else was. It's hard when you feel like you're the only one putting in the effort. But what does it mean when you give everything, and it's still not enough? Was Meri's loyalty a gift, or was it just taken for granted? While Meri worked tirelessly to keep the family intact, Kody's attention began to shift. His eyes were focused on Robyn, and as he poured his energy into their relationship, Meri's efforts began to go unnoticed. Kody and Robyn were excused for their selfish behavior, while Meri was left to face the harsh judgment of the family and fans. Kody. Robyn is the one I rely on the most. She's my confidant. She's the one who gets me through the toughest times. But what about the wife who stood by you through thick and thin? Meri's loyalty was tested, but her struggle was rarely seen. The double standard was clear. Kody and Robyn's actions were excused, while Meri's loyalty was questioned. In the face of isolation, Meri didn't give up. She chose to change, to evolve, and to grow. She sought therapy, engaged in self-reflection, and worked tirelessly to better herself. But her journey was one of quiet persistence, far removed from the drama and conflict that dominated the family's public image. Meri. I had to find myself again. I couldn't keep going down the same path if I wasn't happy. I had to evolve, for myself, for my family, for everyone. Meri wasn't just fighting for her marriage. She was fighting for her own identity, her own happiness. But her journey was misunderstood. She tried to change, but the world was watching and judging her every move. The public wasn't kind to Meri. Online forums erupted with accusations, criticism about her loyalty, her role in the family, her efforts to change. But while Kody and Robyn were forgiven, Meri stood alone, condemned for trying to evolve. Reddit user. Meri has been through so much. She never gave up, even when the odds were against her. It's unfair how everyone points fingers at her, but no one sees the sacrifices she's made. Why was Meri held to a different standard? Why was her loyalty questioned, while Kody and Robyn continued to receive sympathy? Was it because she was the one who kept showing up, even when no one else would? In the end, Meri's journey wasn't about winning anyone's approval. It was about her finding strength in her own silence, her own resolve. While others moved on, Meri stood firm, quietly showing the world what true loyalty looks like. Meri may not have been the loudest, but she's the one who never quit. She's a role model for women who've been through hell, but keep fighting to find themselves. Meri's loyalty was never about others seeing it. It was about her choosing to remain true to herself. Even when the world seemed to turn against her, she never stopped showing up. And that's what makes her strength so undeniable. Meri's story is one of growth, perseverance, and loyalty, often unseen, but never forgotten. While others may have moved on, Meri continues to stand strong, embracing a future built on her own terms. Her legacy is one of quiet strength, a reminder that loyalty isn't always rewarded, but it is always valuable. What does it mean to be loyal when no one else is? Meri Brown's story teaches us that loyalty is a virtue that should be cherished, but sometimes the most loyal people are the ones who are the hardest to see. Meri showed up, and that, in the end, is what makes her unforgettable. What do you think? Was Meri truly given a fair chance, or was her loyalty unfairly dismissed? Let us know in the comments below. Let's deep dive in full details. Part 3. It all began with a dream one man, 4 wives, and the promise of unity. The Browns weren't just a family. They were America's window into polygamy, a story of love shared equally among many. But behind the smiles, cracks were already forming. Even in the earliest episodes, viewers noticed something: the imbalance in affection, the subtle distance, and a power dynamic no one dared to name yet. Then came Robyn, the 4th wife, young, emotional, and unlike the rest. With her came change. What if Robyn wasn't just another wife, but the spark that would ignite the Browns' downfall? Fans began to talk. Reddit threads exploded with theories that Kody had found not just a new wife, but a new obsession. To many viewers, it seemed Robyn played both sides: the emotional victim and the silent ruler. And Kody? He defended her at every turn, often throwing his other wives under the bus. I don't want to sit here and blame Robyn. She's not the reason this family's breaking apart. But the evidence told another story. From preferential treatment in finances to emotional distance with the other wives, the favoritism was undeniable. When one partner receives disproportionate validation, others begin to internalize rejection. It's a classic imbalance dynamic. And in the shadows of that imbalance stood Meri, the 1st wife, watching her world collapse piece by piece. Meri Brown, the woman who started it all. She was the first, the foundation, the symbol of commitment. But over time, her loyalty became her curse. After her emotional scandal in 2015, fans turned on her. Kody withdrew. Even the family treated her like an outsider. But what if Meri wasn't the villain? What if she was the only one still fighting? Meri's not perfect, but she's been showing up, working, forgiving. She tries to grow, while others remain static. That deserves respect. That post reignited a wave of empathy. Online women who saw themselves in Meri. Women who stayed loyal, even when love didn't stay with them. But could Meri's loyalty also be her trap? By the time Christine left in 2021, the Browns were split into 2 worlds: those who still believed in family, and those who believed in control. Christine: I deserve something better, a relationship with real love and respect. Her departure was the domino effect. Janelle soon followed. And Meri, she stayed at least for a while. But staying didn't mean belonging. It wasn't just a family breaking apart. It was the collapse of a system, one that promised unity, but delivered loneliness. And yet Robyn's tears weren't enough to hide what fans began calling the Queen's reign. Here's the twist. Maybe Robyn didn't destroy the Browns. Maybe she simply exposed what was already broken. Polygamy thrives on balance, but Kody's leadership, or lack of it, created an empire built on favoritism. When emotional resources aren't evenly distributed, the structure collapses from within. It's not the plural wives, but the imbalance of power that destroys polygamy. So perhaps Robyn was both victim and villain, lover and catalyst, and Meri, the tragic reminder of what loyalty costs in a one-sided system. Team Meri all the way. Kody used her, Robyn manipulated him, and the rest suffered. Across thousands of comments, fans reached one conclusion: Kody failed his wives. But they also discovered something deeper, that women like Meri, Christine, and Janelle weren't victims. They were survivors. And survival in the sister wives world comes at a cost. Today, the Browns live separate lives. Christine has love again. Janelle has independence. Robyn still has Kody, but at what price? And Meri, she's rediscovering her strength in solitude. I'm choosing joy. I'm choosing me, because no one else gets to define my worth anymore. For millions of women watching, Meri's quiet strength has become something sacred, the courage to stay true to yourself, even when the world misreads your story. Maybe the real story of Sister Wives isn't about a man and his 4 wives, but about the women who learned to love themselves when love failed them. What do you think, viewers? Was Robyn the reason for the family's collapse, or just the reflection of a man's choices? And did Meri finally find peace after years of silence? Share your thoughts below. Subscribe for part 2, The Rise of Kody Brown from Heartbreak to Hero. Because sometimes the loudest story isn't told by the one who wins, but by the one who stays.